If you're sick and tired and frustrated with how slow you're making progress in your life, or you feel farther behind than you should be at this point in your life, I want to reveal to you the strangest secret in the world that Earl Nightingale gave to us in this audiobook back in 1956 that could absolutely transform your life the moment you understand it. And once you completely understand it and start using it in your life, it will change your life forever. And in this video, I'm going to give you 5 steps to implement the strangest secret in the world so you can turn it around and start to tap into more of your greatest potential today. The strangest secret in the world is that we become what we think about most of the time. We become what we think about most of the time. Think about it this way. What thoughts are you dwelling on? Because you see, most people dwell on what's not going well. Most people dwell on what they're worried about. Most people dwell on what they're concerned with. Most people are worried about and thinking about what they don't want to have happen. Most people are dwelling on their past and the bad things or the challenges or the struggles or the times they messed up. Which, by the way, if you're one of those people, you're like, man, I just keep thinking about the times I messed up in life. Welcome to the club. Because we all mess up sometimes royally in life. But those of us that move on to do big things, or the people out there that have moved on to do big things, they realize that they're not alone in the fact that everyone messes up in life. Some people mess up way bigger than other people, but the truth is we all do things that we look back on and we're like, man, I said the wrong thing, or I did the wrong thing, or I wish I would have done that differently, or I would have handled that differently, or I would have responded differently. Oh, man, friend, I just need you to know we all handle that, or we all deal with that. But the question is, where will you now direct your attention? Where will you now direct your attention? I'm going to get into point number 1 of the 5 in a second here of the 5 things to do to implement the strangest secret in your life. But you have to understand that you become what you think about most of the time. So what are you thinking about? You got to start thinking about things that help you to be more productive and more positive, more inspired, and to tap into the fullness of your greatest potential, to move in the direction of your destiny, of the thing you are called and created here to do. So you move in the direction of your dreams and your big goals. So the first thing you have to do, number 1, is you got to create a compelling vision for the future that you desire. You see, we become like the vision of the life we have for ourselves. There's great research that's done in the field of psychology by Dr. Seligman, and he talks about this idea of prospection theory. Prospection theory is this theory that says we become the person that we imagine ourselves to become, not the person we were in our past. See, way too many people think they are who they are based on their past. Is it true that your past builds you into a kind of person? Yes. Your experiences, the voices that were in your head, the messages you received, the philosophy, the beliefs, the ways you were treated, for sure. All of that contributes to you being the person you are today. But here's the thing. What if instead of being forced to become the person you are based on what your past experiences were, what if you could actually become the person you want to become based on the future vision you have for your life? And that's exactly what prospection theory is. It's the idea that we act in alignment with who we believe we're going to become. And so if you act in alignment, not with your past, but with who you believe you're going to become, then you got to start creating a compelling vision of who you want to become. You got to start creating a vision for your life of the person that you desperately want to experience. And so if you don't yet have a compelling vision of the future that you truly desire, you got to get it, because otherwise you're just going to be thinking about your past. And the more you think about your past, the more you will experience your past. You'll experience your past emotions. You'll experience your past regrets and challenges and frustrations, and you'll live, at least emotionally and mentally, in your past. How often do you want to live in your past versus live in an exciting, compelling future? You see, that's what happens when you get a compelling, exciting future in front of you. You start to live in that future vision. You start to dwell on it. You start to get excited about it, and you start to live in it mentally and emotionally. When you live in it mentally and emotionally, you can start to align your action with becoming the person that lives that life in the future. Point number 2, set goals that align with that compelling future vision. You see, a vision is basically like, people ask me all the time, what's a vision? What's the difference between a vision and a goal? A vision is like the movie of the ideal future that you want to live. If you were to sit in a movie theater and put on the screen, the big screen, the life you dream of living, the day-to-day interactions, the meetings you have, the things you do, the people you interact with, where you go, how you show up, what you look like, all those things, that movie, that's your vision. That's your compelling vision. It's the movie you want to watch of your life one day, looking back like, what played out? That's it. That's your vision. But your goals are the things you've got to do to get you along the journey to create that vision. Is it about taking certain actions that get you to be a certain level of health or a certain financial level or certain relationships? Like, goals are the mile markers on your journey to creating the movie of the life that you want to live. And so my encouragement to you is to set goals that align with that vision, because those goals will help you then to start making action or taking action that aligns with getting there. And so the third thing you need to do then is write out your core goal and review it daily. You got to write out your goal. Like, you've got to write out the things you want to accomplish. I remember when I was just a young lad, a guy, I don't know, like 8, 9, 10 years old, 11, 12 years old, into middle school, like elementary, into middle school, even into high school. I had a goal card because I heard it at a basketball camp one year. I was at a Purdue University basketball camp, and they told a story about a guy named Jim Abbott. Jim Abbott was a pitcher for the New York Yankees, but he only had one arm. So the way he pitched was he pitched and then tucked his glove under and he would field. So like, he literally had one arm to be a pitcher. And it's really fascinating because they told a story about Jim Abbott and how he wrote on a goal card from the time he was a little kid, "I will pitch in New York Yankees Stadium." And he looked at it every single night, pulled it out from under his pillow, read it, went to bed, woke up, pulled it out, read it, did his entire day. And so from that moment, I realized the power of goal cards. And so from that moment on, I put on a goal card. I will be the starting quarterback for Purdue University. I grew up a huge Purdue Boilermaker fan. And I wrote on the card, "I will be the starting quarterback for Purdue University." And then on the other side of the card, I wrote, "I will be a Hall of Fame NFL quarterback." Neither of those things obviously came to fruition. So you might be saying, "Well, JJ, you've lost validity with me because you just said you wrote on the card and it didn't come to fruition." But what I will tell you is the special things that happen when you set a big, ambitious goal and then you start to work towards it, the strengths, the skills, the mindset you develop are imperative for actually turning your big dreams into concrete reality. And so what I developed was discipline, was a work ethic, was determination, was the ability to work on a team, was ability to lead, because I knew that if I wanted to achieve those big goals and to be a starting quarterback for Purdue University and then be an NFL Hall of Fame quarterback, I was going to have to be a leader. I was going to have to demonstrate how to show up, how to do the work, how to get the results. Do you think those skills have helped me in my life? Yes or no? Absolutely. And so as I sit here, I've got huge dreams and visions and goals, and I write them on cards and I write them in my journal. Every day I write in my journal about the most important big goals that I have in front of me, and something special happens when you put pen to paper. But I tell you this because as soon as you start to put pen to paper on goals and you put it on a 3x5 card and you read it every single day, you will start to make progress towards those goals like you've never have before in your life. I'm telling you, it is a game changer. Number 4, let me recap real quick, because as I've always said, we need to remind it more often than we need to instruct it. So let's go through the first 3 really quick. Number 1, create a compelling vision. I keep them here to keep me on track, because otherwise I just go on tangents all over the place. Number 1, create a compelling vision. Number 2, set goals aligned with your vision. Number 3, write out your core goal and review it daily, preferably on a 3x5 card. Number 4, listen to people who live a life like the one that you want. You've got to feed your mind with the thinking of people who are living the life that you want to live. Because if you want to live a certain life, you've got to model the people who are living that life. And I talked about this earlier, but like, you've got to model, and I've talked about this in other episodes and other videos, like, you've got to model the people that are successful in the way that you want to be successful. That's why I listen to Andy Frisella. Like, I want to listen to how someone that's successful at that level thinks. What's his philosophy for business, career, life? How is he thinking about being mentally tough and doing business and achieving and tapping into his greatest potential? That's why I listen to guys like Ed Milet. It's why I feed my mind with people that I find inspiring and doing incredible things in this world. I want to know how they think, because once you can think the way successful people think, you will absolutely put yourself on a fast track to creating that kind of life. I'm not saying you'll get that identical life, but you will certainly move in that direction even faster. So listen to people who live the life that you will one day want to live, that you're dreaming of. That is your vision for the life that you want to live. Number 5, feed your mind inspiring messages and voices every single day. Feed your mind inspiring messages and voices every day. Like The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. Or like Attract Your Potential by JJ Peller. If you don't have your copy yet, go get it. Or if you want to listen to it for free, it's on my podcast. If you're listening on the podcast, it's on YouTube, completely free. You can go listen to it for free. You can get it on Audible, or you can get yourself a physical copy over on Amazon. Go do that right now, will you please? I'm telling you, it'll inspire you. It'll encourage you. It'll fuel you with faith. It'll give you ideas and insights. Even if it's just one teeny tiny insight or idea, if it can help you today, It can change the entire trajectory of your life. And that's the whole point of this as well. Feed your mind uplifting, inspiring messages every day because it can give you one idea or insight that can change everything. Number one. Number two, it'll keep your faith fueled. It'll help you to continue to live in the way that you must live. Show up and do the things you must do to turn your big dreams into reality. Because there's this great quote that if I've said it once, I'll say it 1 billion times by William James, the father of psychology in America. Act, look, feel successful, conduct yourself accordingly, and you will be amazed at the positive results. You must act in the way of the person that you want to become. You got to start living like the person you want to become. I don't mean if you're like, man, I want to have a private jet. I'm not saying like go find a private jet to get on, but I am saying like, what are the characteristics? What are the traits? What's the mindset? What's the thinking? What are the behaviors? Are you getting up and working early in the morning? Are you getting up and working hard, working out like physically in the gym? Are you reading physical books? Are you feeding your mind? Are you doing what successful people do? And if you feel like, well, I can't get the cold plunge stuff and all this other stuff that I see really successful people talking about and the the biofeedback and they're doing like days at retreats to blah, blah. Okay. If you don't have the funds for all the crazy stuff that these really massively successful people do and they talk about on social media, that's okay. Do you know what else they do? They buy $20 books like Unreasonable Hospitality or Attract Your Potential or The Strangest Secret or any other number of books that are nonfiction and personal development related and success related and relationship building related, and they read them. They physically read books, they listen to audiobooks, they watch relevant YouTube videos or listen to relevant podcasts that feed their minds inspiration, ideas, insights, perspectives, wisdom that can enrich their lives and help them tap into more of their greatest potential. And you got to do that for yourself. You got to fuel your faith, you got to feed your mind, and you got to keep moving forward with refining yourself and strengthening yourself to become the greatest version of yourself. Friend, I just know that you can do incredible things with your life. Like I know it. You and I may have never met before, but I believe in what is possible for people that are driven, that believe more, that believe bigger, and that truly want to make a positive, meaningful difference in the world and want to find out what they're capable of. And if that's you and you're driven, and I believe if you're still watching this or listening to this at this point, that is you, then you can do incredible things with your life. And I want to keep you fired up, fueled up, and excited and filled with ideas and inspiration and the mindset required to tap into your greatest potential. And so if you've enjoyed this message, please let me know by subscribing, by rating, by reviewing, by sharing it with a friend. Tell somebody about this. If you've gotten value from this message, please, please, please share it out with someone you care about. Post it on social media. And I would love to answer your questions in future episodes because I'd love to make this a more of an engaging thing where I can get your questions, respond to you in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, I believe there's a comment section there as well now. So you can leave comments, give me your questions. If you want me to answer any questions about success or mindset or personal growth or tapping into your greatest potential or just any area of life, I'd be happy to give you my 2 cents, and I'd love to be able to answer your questions. So if you've enjoyed this, please let me know by subscribing, by rating it, by reviewing it, by all the things, and comment below with a question you have that you'd love to have me answer in a future episode of the JJ PELLER Podcast. I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited for what you're going to do in your life. And if you're going through a season of struggle or a time of test, and you feel like you're getting beat up by life and you feel down, you feel like, man, things just aren't working out for me, listen to me right now. Great things can happen, but you got to start to believe it. You got to start to know it. And you got to take that little spark of knowingness inside of you that you know you're destined to do something great with your life. And you got to implement the strangest secret by thinking about the things that you want to become in your life, by molding your mind, by shaping your thoughts, because your thoughts lead to your actions lead to your habits create your character will ultimately create the life you live. So friend, whatever you are going after, refuse to settle for anything less than your greatest potential. Go for more because you can become more and great things are possible for you. Breakthrough's near. I don't know if that means a few days or a few weeks or a few months or next year, but breakthrough is happening if you refuse to quit and you just keep freaking going. Friend, great things are happening. Keep going. Talk with you next time.